Toni Green, psychic medium, hypnotist, healer, all the things. Here to give you approximately 60 minutes 60 minutes of Q&A, connecting with loved ones up above. If you do have a question, please put it in the chat. And make your question a little bit specific about life, love, career, finances. One question or connection per person, please. And if you want to connect with a loved one on the other side, I just need their name and their relationship to you. And I'll be happy to get that connection. If you do have a specific question for someone on the other side, I need their name, their relationship, and that question all in one message. Okay. Next. This show goes live on WSCS, Rude Rangers, and all of their affiliate channels, streaming channels, podcast stations, and radio stations, and every place I can possibly put it. I go live every Monday at noon Central Time, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., although some of the Wednesdays shows will have different times, so please push the buttons you need to push to get notifications of when that show may be. It may end up being Thursday. I'm finding I'm cycling a lot and going and doing lake stuff a lot. So sometimes I just want to push the show back a little bit because my biking doesn't end until a certain time and I really want to be able to get it in. I know, you guys, the greatest thing, I was cycling like at 7 the other night, and one of the things about cycling at dusk is all the wildlife comes out, depending on where you're cycling. I cycle on a couple trails or whatever they're called, and there were so many bunnies and baby deer out. There were of course the moms were there, but the moms didn't even look that big. Is that just what city deer look like? Small? Are city deer just small? But these babies were like the size of dogs or something. They were so cute. But they go across the path, so you have to stop and wait, or they're right on the edge of the path. So I was just sitting there waiting for them to go, because I thought if I just cycle right through these deer, they might get spooked and they hit cars. They could hit me on a bike. It could happen. It could happen. So I just was okay, just wait for them. Just wait. But they're so cute, and it was so good. Such an awesome thing. Anyway, back to the show. How about if we get back to the show, huh? Let's just get back to the show. Don't get scammed. I'll never reach out to you. I record live on YouTube and on Podbean. So if you're watching or listening on on the television stations or the streaming stations, you have a question, you want to connect with a loved one, come on over, join us. You can join in on YouTube, post your question in the chat. Please don't put it in the comments. I don't see comments while I'm live. So I apologize for that. You can join us on Podbean, where you can call in, or you can, on Podbean, also just put it in the chat like Fawn did. Hey, Fawn, happy to see you there. So I'm going to go through all the questions and answers. I do have 7 books like this one right here. What If? A Transformational Guide. And it's, I actually, this book is, All of the books are designed to be very introspective and help you evolve. So with this book, one of the things about this book is that when you read the question in there, it's like all the questions start what if, and when you read the question, I say the first time you go through, use a notebook and answer the question. And let me just see if I can find a good example here. What if unconditionally loving yourself helps you become the person you've always wanted to be? So if like you would just like answer that, and then the next time you go through, you can actually, and there is space under each one to write an answer, and even on the next page, so that you can like really explore that answer. But the first time you go through, what I found is your first answer and your second answer will not be your last answer, because as you answer these questions, which were channeled through me, your mind opens up to all possibilities. And when we open up to all possibilities, our creativity and what is available for us in this world. I get so nervous talking about my own stuff. It almost makes me like, whew, self-promotion is not one of my strong suits. But I'm going to put this book down now. I'm going to get back to questions and answers. But the book is, all of the books, whether they're the books about poems or the ever evolving journey. And if you do decide to purchase a book, please go to my author page. The links are in my descriptions or bios, whatever's on the page, and order, because there are apparently other people out there selling my books on Amazon and stuff. And then that does nothing for me who wrote it. I get nothing from that. So we're going to start with the first question. And it comes from Olga. Olga wants to know, hi, Toni, happy 4th. Hi, happy July 4th. Happy July 4th, Olga. Do you see me getting a new car by the end of 2025? No. You know what? I sat with your question as soon as I saw it, and I sat with it, and I kept trying to get a different answer for you, and the answer just keeps being no. Now, I don't know if this is because what you're looking for just won't be available or what it is, but I feel like January, February of 26 is going to be one of the better times for you to purchase. Now, if you're purchasing new, I know they say end of the year is the best time sometimes, but for some reason, I feel like what you're looking for, you're not going to be able to find until January or February, whether it's the pricing, if you're doing financing, whatever it is, that's going to come in January, February. So whatever you're doing now, hold on to it, embrace it, and make it work for you until then. Heather says, hi, Toni. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I did, Heather. I hope the same for you. Fawn on Podbean says, do you see the medical cuts affecting my current job? Thanks. Not really. Not really. Not at this time, and not really. Okay. Not at this time, and not really. And that is what I'm hearing. I do feel like, Fawn, if there's a change, it may be a change you decide to make. It may be something you decide to do. Like you might just start looking other places just to see what else is out there. Hey, Drops of Jupiter. Hey, Rebecca. Thanks for joining Podbean. Next, from YouTube, we have Sonia. Sonia says, hi. Sonia says, do you see me getting a job soon, like ASAP? Yes and no. It depends on how much you're willing to sacrifice, is what I'm hearing, Sonia. Whatever you're willing, if you're willing to go for a little less just to get working, you will get that. And Sonia, to get what you want, you may have to look a little further out. I hope that makes sense to you. Like if you're looking like, let's say only in your city, you may have to go outside those city limits or even further out than that. Okay. So I hope that that makes sense to you. I hope it does. And if you're not willing to look further out, maybe that's what part of the issue is. Listen, I get we love where we live, but if we have to show up to a position, if we have to show up to a job and there's just nothing in your area to show up to that is available, redeemable, good for you, pays what you need, look outside your area. Because even though you love where you live, if you don't have a position that will help you sustain that, then what? Like, then what? So that is what I'm hearing for you, Sonia. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. I have a call on Podbean. Oops, I missed that. Drops of Jupiter. Could you please call in again? Because I think I went to take it and it did not. I did not catch it. That's the thing with Podbean. The call comes and you have like 3 seconds to catch it. Otherwise, it's gone. So if you want, there she is again. Drops of Jupiter. Thank you so much. Hey, how are you today?
Hi, Toni.
Hey there.
Yeah, I've just been really, really stressed out, and I'm in an apartment. I don't like it. But I wanted to I was thinking about renting a room out. Do you see me being able to do that? I know it's kind of tricky.
So the first thing I hear is check your lease for your subletting rules.
I don't really have one.
Okay. I don't know that that's a fact, but anyway, here's what I would say: be very careful if you're thinking of subletting. I understand all the reasons somebody would want to do that or need to do that. But what I'm hearing is be very cautious. Make sure you do very good background checks. Otherwise, especially if you do not know the person, if you do know the person, it still is going to be a bit complicated. But, we have to also survive. Again, if we don't have survival is a really big thing right now. So if that's what you need to do, find the best possible person to do that with, and make sure, I just keep hearing again and again, do background checks. Check everything from the registries, and I can't say certain words on here because it will get me they won't they'll shadow ban me. My show won't go out as much. But check all the registries, check local courts and circuit courts, all the courts, and then what you do, here's what you have to do if you're calling a reference for when somebody, like where they used to live. Don't call and say, hey, I'm calling about your tenant so-and-so. What you do first is you call and say, hey, do you have a place available for rent? If they say, I don't have any rentals, you know that person is lying about their references. That was a very hard lesson for me to learn when I was renting out places. But and then if they say, oh yeah, no, my rentals are full, then hang up, and then a day or two later call back and say, I'm calling for a reference on this person. And the best question to ask is, because certain states have certain laws, you can't ask certain things, but you can ask, would you rent to them again? And if they say no, then say thank you. But in some states, you can't even ask, did they pay their rent? Were they a good tenant? What the, right? What a. And I would say the next thing I'm hearing is whatever agreement you make with this person, make it for 3 months at a time only. Even if the first 3 months go well, only renew for 3 months at a time, just to protect yourself. Okay, love?
Okay, thank you.
All righty?
Okay, thank you.
You are so welcome. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I hope it gets better for you. Okay, you guys, going to the next question. We took care of Sonia. Maria Amethyst says, I told Felipe he needs to move out. So Maria, I'm going to need you to click in on the bottom for me. How do you see me and him in the future? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the love dynamic and how absolutely chaotic and torturous it can be. How do you see me and him in the future? Please be specific. Will there be an ending? Will he move? Will he try to come back? Okay, Maria, I have just a couple questions to start with, and I'm not laughing at you, but in my head, I know exactly what you're going through, and that's kind of what every woman listening knows exactly what you are going through right now. I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is, you told him to move out. I feel like maybe he didn't move out yet. Is he out of the house? Listen, I'm just going to say this with all of my heart and all of my understanding. By the time a woman gets to the place where she has to ask a guy to like break up or move out, we have pretty much gone through everything we can go through. For most women, not all of them, we have gone through everything we can think of to try to make the situation work. Those are our last ditch efforts to try to get it to make it work, and which is psychotic even to us, that we think if we try to end it, maybe they'll finally see what they're going to lose, and then they'll behave better. Well, even if they do, people are creatures of habit. They will eventually go back to whatever it is. Think about this, Maria. When's the last time you tried to change something about yourself? Everybody listening, everybody watching. When is the very last time you tried to change, like start working out, stop eating sugar, start anything? And what drove you to do it? So if you did it because you had to, you know it was just torture. And the first chance you get that you can justify going back and doing it again or not doing it again, you did it. So let's use exercise. You start exercising because maybe you want to lose weight, or you want your body to look better, or you can't buy more new clothes because you've outgrown all of them. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Maybe you want a dump truck. I don't know. Whatever it is. But if it's something that you've not done and it's difficult to start, you will find cheat days. You will. And you'll find a way to get out of working out, like a reason not to do it on that day, or not to do specific like body parts. Okay. And as much as you may want the result, you want that end result, it's very, very, very difficult to stick to the plan to get that result. Now think about this. Somebody's telling you you have to change a behavior or personality trait. And in some cases, people just can't because they don't have a conscience, or their conscience isn't that strong, or they don't have character or ethics. I'm not saying that's him. I'm just saying sometimes it's almost impossible to get them to change, even with the threat of losing you. Okay? People do what works. And while they're doing what works to get what they want, we're fighting to help them become who we want them to be. And we, as women, as men, as humans, we have to look at a person, whether they're a friend, a partner, a boss, a coworker, and we just have to say, this person, as they are right here today, do I want this? It's like going into the store and buying a dress and then taking it to get a remake. We wouldn't. We wouldn't. We would just find a dress we like the way it is. So, what I'm going to say to you, Maria, um, she goes on to say, okay, I found more messages from her. I'd be grateful if you could check in with what happened with me and Felipe. So some of this, you guys, and again, if you need a lot of information, if it's this show is designed for a basic question, like if you need a lot of details and a lot of what's going on, that might be a private session also, because any relationship, especially a live-in relationship, has a lot of dynamics going on. And me sitting here in 2 minutes, which is what I'm, doing, and untangling 9 years of a relationship and telling you what went wrong and everything, that's probably not going to happen on the show. We need to be a little bit realistic about how this works. And he does everything I hate. He watches other women. Yeah, you know what? Here's the question I'm going to ask you, Maria. 2 questions. If somebody you adore, like let's just say if you have a daughter or had a daughter, would you want her to be with this person? What would you do if she brought him home and you knew everything about him? You would probably beg her not to date this guy. And the second question is, if you knew all of this about him before your first date, would you have even gone out on that date with him? The sad truth is, women bond in a very, very strong way to men through intimacy, intimate talks, making out, sexual activity. We bond. We don't just fall in love. We bond to that person. That's why every time somebody says, I just met somebody and they are a woman, I am saying, take your time. Treat them like a psychology session where you are learning as much as you can about them before you bond to them. Because once we are bonded to a man, most women will put up with just about anything in hopes to get back to the beginning. Back to when we didn't know what we know now. And I can tell you so many things. My friends and I, the stories we share about the men we have dated and what we put up with, this is graphic and I'm giving a trigger warning here, but I cannot tell you the number of my friends who went to lick the lollipop and it had different juice on it. At least clean that thing before you bring it to the next girl. At least give it a sink shower for the love of all that is holy in this world. For the love of your own decency. And did they leave? Not because they're stupid, because they were bonded to that person. They were completely bonded. And we bond to people because we give birth and we're supposed to bond to the baby. And sometimes our kids, they need us to be bonded to them because they're going to come out with different personalities. Here's what I'm going to say. If you cannot handle his behaviors the way he is for your health and your sanity, it doesn't matter what he does. You have to do what's best for you. Every person in every relationship, male or female, first and foremost has to do what's best for us. What's healthiest for us to survive, to move forward in. A relationship is a partnership that is supposed to help us grow and learn in love. Not hate, not contempt, not disgust, not to feel less than. And I know I'm going to say this with my whole heart. Some people don't think it's a big deal if they look at, glare at, gawk at, flirt with the other people, or if the server comes over and they start flirting with it. Listen, if you can do that with your partner. Do that with the person sitting across from you. You're only showing them that you're still interested or still need validation from others. You need attention. You're seeking validation from others. And a lot of people think that's not a big deal. It is, because of the way it makes the person sitting in front of you feel. And even if they say it's okay, if you cannot control your eyeballs, I know you cannot control your Willy Wonka. If you cannot control your eyeballs, if you cannot control not flirting with another person in front of your partner, male or female, you cannot control your privates, because the eyeballs are the easiest part of the body to control. Look, I'm looking here, now I'm looking there. Oh, looking back over there. Oh, if you cannot control your eyeballs, or you cannot control not flirting with somebody you don't even want to take home, a waitress or a waiter or whatever it is, you just need that little ego boost, you are not going to control your private parts. Eventually, sooner or later, you will. And some people will say, well, I flirt with people, but I've never cheated. What? Who says flirting isn't cheating? You don't get to decide that. If flirting, the extent of your flirting is stepping out. But I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. There are even men now who are saying if they know a man cheats, they will not do business with them. Because if he's cheating on the person that he says he loves, that he goes home to and looks in the eye I love you. I love you. If he's cheating on that person, they know he'll cheat in a business deal. They know he'll cheat in his business. If you're ripping off your partner, you will rip off any partner. You either have control or you do not. You are either in control of your autonomy or you are not. And Maria and everybody else listening, male or female, if somebody cannot control their eyeballs, it's not because you're not pretty enough. If they cannot control their mouth, it's not because you are not good enough. It's not because you are not enough. Maybe there's just never going to be enough for that person. Maybe there's just never going to be enough validation, external validation, because that person has no internal validation. And Felipe, I'm not coming at you. I'm saying in general. Maybe it's because they have a void that just can't be filled. People who don't love themselves completely, sometimes they have a little bit of difficulty loving and being monogamous with somebody else. And that has nothing to do with you as a person, me as a person. That it's people do what works for them in the moment. So Maria, my thing to you is, it doesn't, and for anybody who's in a relationship, if this went on for another week, you could probably handle it. But if you had to live like this for another year, now people don't do this. They don't think about it this way, because if they think about it this way, it's overwhelming and it's realistic and it's logical. But we think people are going to change it. And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you had to live with the way this person is for a week, you could handle it. 3 months, yeah, you can handle it. But if I say to you, this is it forever, or for 5 years, it becomes so overwhelming, like the reality hits you. You wouldn't have thought prior to this relationship, you would have never thought, oh my God, I'm going to put up with 9 years of this. You would have never thought you would be with a person that would diminish you by embellishing others. That's not what we think as women. And that's not how it starts out. And that's not what we think as men. Men think, I'm going to get into this relationship, this person's going to love me, and women also. And then it's going to move forward. We're going to progress. It's going to be a good relationship. But what ends up happening sometimes is just not that. So what I'm going to say to you, Maria, is it doesn't matter if he comes back, if he goes, it doesn't matter if he comes back. At that point, it should not be his choice. We have to stop in relationships letting the other person decide when the relationship is over if we are not happy. And this is for a man, a woman, whatever it is. If we are not happy, it's not up to the other person when it's over. Just because they come back, it doesn't mean we have to take them, no matter how difficult it is for us to say no. Sometimes we just have to block everything and move on with our existence. And I personally will say this from my person, I'm not telling anybody what to do. Once you're alone and once you're single, and you realize the things that you have put up with, what you let people get away with, you will never go back to that again, because you know you can be single. You know you don't need a person for that validation. So what I would say to you, Maria, is you are the only person who can decide what is best for you, and he has to decide what is best for him. And sometimes you can take a temporary break, but have a time frame on that. And that's not a time to just be out and have a hall pass, doing what you want to do, and then come back and say, okay, I've sowed some more wild oats. But I think you already know the answer. And what goes wrong is typically in the beginning we have the vision of who we think this person is and how they're going to be and how we can change them. And as the relationship goes on, especially for women, they settle into more of who they are and how they behave. They stop their pretenses. And then we realize we've bonded to someone we didn't even know. And that's the truth. And I've heard men say a lot, when a woman meets a man, she thinks, oh, I can change him to this, and this. And to us, they seem like very, very, very small changes. But when a man meets a woman, he says, I hope she never changes. And ironically, the man's behavior changes who the woman is, and the woman never gets to change the man. And that is just how it is. That is just how it is. So, Maria, I hope that was very, very helpful for you. Um, and if you need more information than that, please consider having a private session. I do offer them, and we can do a deep dive into whatever it is you may need with this. Okay, I think the next person is Elizabeth. Hey, everybody in Podbean, thank you for joining. You can put a question in the chat, and I will be happy to answer that for you. Elizabeth says, hi, Toni. Should I work PM and night shift doubles twice a week to be full time? Or should I stay just PM shift 4 to 5 days a week? What do you think? I feel like if you try to do the double shifts, it's going to be way too much and you will try to go back. It'll be overwhelming or overtaxing because on the times you're off, you'll just sleep. That's what I feel like. That's what I'm getting, love. I like you'll do a double shift, but then you'll need the time to recover. So you really won't have you won't be winning as some might say. Okay. Hey Sal, Erin. Hey Toni, hope you have a wonderful holiday. It was good. Super single, but how many kids do you see me having and when? Whew. Okay, Erin, let me know you're still here with me. Erin, I'm going to tell you the answer that I'm getting. And Elizabeth says that makes sense. I would like to work less days, but probably sleep. Yeah, that's just what I'm getting, love. Okay, Erin. What I don't know if you already answered this. Give me an approximate of your age, because I know the number I'm hearing. I'm hearing 4442424. So here's what I'm going to say. Our pets can be our children if we don't have children. But also, you might have two, but the person you end up having children with may have two, so it might end up being four. Or it could be that you have fertility and you just drop a litter all at once. Okay, back end of 20s. Thank you for sharing that. I know it's difficult for us to put our age out because we do get judged by our age. What I'm going to say to you, love, is there could be a total of four, but those four maybe could be, pets or in part stepchildren, if you will, but I'm not positive about that. That's going to be up to you. Now, even if you have pets, that doesn't mean there won't be for humans. Okay, that's the way I'm gonna say that. And I feel like 31, 32 is your time. And Erin, I'm just gonna say to you, love, you need to get out and about and find a little bit of a more traditional person. Someone, and I know you didn't ask this, somebody in possibly, I feel like there's the potential or the possibility for somebody in IT to come in, somebody who will be a little bit more traditional, reserved, quiet, but somehow they work with computer, like back end stuff. I don't know what that, I don't even know what that means. I'm not really familiar with IT jobs or back end stuff as it pertains to IT jobs. Um, I'm really not extremely familiar with that, but I feel like this person is a little bit more traditional. They're not super flashy. They're not unattractive. They're somewhat attractive to you. Like they're good looking, but they're not that like super hot player anxiety type of guy. You know, the ones that you look at them and go, oh my God, that mofo has more hair products than me. I know he does. Or, oh my God, no matter where we go, it's just going to be disrespectful because this mofo is so good looking, girls aren't even going to care there's somebody standing next to him. Not that kind of, you know, and I've been in that situation a couple of times where somebody's either a pretty popular person. People walk up, they don't even care. They don't even care that it doesn't matter what you look like. They walk up and they just start talking to him like you are a stepchild. And you're like, I'm apparently using my invisibility powers today. Apparently. Because this man has his whole arm on me, and that woman is acting like he's at the bar by himself. What? Hmm. Interesting. Um, so I feel like he's going to be somewhat good looking, like he's not going to be unattractive, but you know what I mean. I am just rambling today. There's some serious rambling going on. Okay. Forward moving. And if I missed your question, I really apologize. I'm trying to stay in order, but sometimes as I go back and forth, I might skip over and I'll try to find it. Hey, you guys on Podbean, if you have a question, just pop it in. I am taking calls. Katie. Um, Forward moving. Hi, Toni. Do you see me getting a place soon? Not as soon as you want. Um, Not as soon as you want. Uh, Katie, if you can just hold on 1 second while I finish answering this. You're not going to get a place as soon as you want. Again, I was going to say September, August, but it might be either August, September, or September, October. But September is the primary month that I feel you are going to get that place. Katie, you can go ahead and call back. I did hit invite, but for some reason it didn't put you in the room. So please go ahead and call back. I'll be happy to invite again. Here we go. There we go. Doot, doot, doot. Hey, Katie, how are you?
Hi, Toni. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on, love?
Well, I am in New York visiting, and I've been here for a few weeks. And I wanted to, I guess, get the vibe or energy about possibly relocating because I still have my place in Atlanta, but my lease will be up in a few months. So I'm just
So here's what I'm getting right away. I feel like right now you want to stay there, and I feel like you might end up staying there. Now, it's not right or wrong if you stay. I feel like you need to look at your job potential there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you should be doing while you're there right now is like and I know you probably are because and that will be your determining factor. And again, Katie, I don't know why I'm saying again, but I feel like you need to look at government sector, a strong government sector, but then also contract and or I'm hearing contract and or malpractice. Now, whether that's, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but whatever that means, just search it and see how it comes up in or relative to you and what you're doing. Once you find out about the work situation between the two places, you're going to be able to make your decision. And I keep hearing contract, contract, contract. Now, this might mean you get a contract in the area you want to be in, that you're moving into. And right now, for you and everybody else looking for work, I'm going to clear anything stopping, blocking, or interfering with it. And if you guys feel this, let me know. But I feel nauseous instantly, which tells me that something really toxic is what's stopping it. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. I'm just going to clear this, pull anything stopping or blocking it. And it actually is giving me like this little swirl of dizziness. Now, sometimes I feel it and the people I'm working on do not. And that is A-okay, my loves. Happy to take that hit for you, as some would say. But if you are looking for work, come back and clear this every day until you get that perfect position. And that's the next clearing I want to do is let's clear anything stopping or blocking you from finding. Oh, Rebecca says she's feeling it. I love that. Thank you, Rebecca. Stopping or blocking you from getting the perfect position for you with the perfect pay. Oh,
and perfect health insurance. Everybody need health insurance.
And benefits. All the benefits. Bring me the bennies.
Yes,
bring me the bennies. All the benefits. And my goodness, you guys, I literally feel like there's like, when you see a tornado, that's like, I feel like that is swirling up and out of me. Like my body is like shaking on the bottom. So whatever this is, let's get it gone. Let's just get her gone and get you guys with those positions. I'm going to say something. In today's world, even if we're working, we're very concerned and very attentive to our financial situations. And if we are not working, I can't even imagine how much attention we are paying to our financial situation and making it, because even people I know that make pretty good money are like looking at, okay, I have this many months worth of reserve, because it's not like it was pre 2020. And people are really starting, even those who didn't notice it right away, they're really starting to understand that. And so we as a society, we have to stay strong, and we have to stay in faith, and we have to stay in love, and that is, and again, being very vigilant of what I say on here. If we can stay without fear, we win. That's it. That's it. Against anything, anyone, or any organization or group, and I have to use these words because Certain words will trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know.
Yeah.
If we can stay without fear, we win. And everything, and I want you to think about this, everything being done right now on TV, whether it's the shows you watch, the news you watch, on the radio, even the music is geared toward fear, failure, lying, cheating, blah, 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 blah. We can go on for days about it. So we have to put on that old school soul about love and money and faith, that good old soul music or that good old rock and roll, that good old music like when they wrote about good things, or we only can watch comedies. There are a couple comics that I am loving right now. One of them, I think he just popped up. Nope, he didn't. Unfortunately, his name is Antonio something, but he pops up in my feed, and this guy is so funny. And but anyway, just being in a place where you are paying attention to only things that make you laugh, only things that make you happy, listening to only music that brings in those good vibrations, and talk good about money and love. That's so important right now. And one thing I'm hearing for you, Katie, that's really important for you also is look into a side hustle. Your own, your very, 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 very own side hustle. And I know a lot of people like to start with a company, but if you need to start off on your own on the side while you do something else, take on one at a time and see where that gets you. Put an ad up, talk about it, build a list, get clients that way. But we really need to stay in that place of faith, and we cannot depend on the power that be, because they may not be in our best interest at this time. So, okay, that's what I have for you, love.
Thank you so much.
To the answer of your question, is she going to, like the way people ask and then the way I ask might be a little different. Is she going to stay in New York? Is she going to relocate? You might end up relocating to New York, love. And I feel like it's very work oriented if you do. It's all going to depend on cha-ching, like the money element of it. Okay, sweetie pie?
Yes, thank you so much, Toni.
You are so welcome. Thank you, love.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, you guys, see if you call in. I am so happy. Hey, Being, thank you for joining. Ava, thank you for joining the room. And Podbean, thank you guys so much for being here with me. I didn't say this earlier. I want to say it now. Thank you, everybody who joins the show and puts questions in. Thank you so much for your questions, your comments, it all helps the channel, especially when I'm being, limited because of my uncontrollable urge to say whatever the heck I want. Been a problem my whole entire life. That's all I can say. My whole entire life. I mean, my first words were controversial, according to those who know. Thank you for any donations. Thank you for the books you purchased. Thank you so much for, you guys are such a great community also, because like in the chat, you will help each other and talk to each other. And I love that the community is growing. Thank you so, so much. I didn't even do songs or names this morning. And I don't know if I'm going to have time to be doing that, but I'm going to keep going. Last Monday's show, you mentioned Mary, then you said, no, it's Maria. She passed 5 days ago. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. In an awful accident, Mary, her children are critical condition. Is there a message from her? Oh my gosh. First of all, Rebecca, thank you for I'm so sorry. Yes. And this morning, one of the songs I kept hearing is that song, Maria, Maria. It was playing all morning long, but I didn't do songs this morning, and I apologize. Stay strong. Do not waver. This is not the time to waver. Stay very strong. Don't, and then she's doing that song and I'm getting goosebumps. Don't let them go. Everything that is I can't do this. Everything that is about to happen is happening with purpose and on purpose. Try to find the Try to find the deeper understanding in all of it. I'm going to leave that there for you, and I hope that that was helpful. And I'm so sorry for what you and everyone involved in this is going through. Hey, Karen, good morning. Joy. Hi, Toni, happy Monday. I wanted to ask, I am currently employed. I want a better position. Will I be getting a new one soon? September. The position is coming in September, and you should have it secured by October. Be very, very discerning. Keep looking now, so you just keep up with what's out there and what the job market looks like. In the month I said, it's going to, you have to be very, very discerning, because there's going to be a couple of positions and you have to be able to feel the right one. Okay. Be aware of a employer that is too charming or trying to like be a salesperson in the interview process. That's what I'm getting for you, Joy. I hope that helps. Hey, Jennifer. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for being here. I will be back Wednesday. I think I set the show for like 8 p.m. So if I'm biking later, I can still get the show in. But I'll be back Wednesday. Please click the buttons you need to click on YouTube or wherever you are, so you know when I'm going live. So if you have questions, you can ask them. That would be 8 p.m. Central Time. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. I think I put it in at 8 p.m. Central, which would be 9 p.m. New York, East Coast. Let me see really quickly. La 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 la. No, it's not showing up. My upcoming 8 p.m. I set it for 8 p.m. Central. So Wednesday I will be on at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Just because I really have been enjoying the daytime that we are being given. I'm a summer baby. I love summer, and I want to be out there as much as I can. So, so for now, those Wednesday shows especially, keep track of them. And until Wednesday, you guys have an absolutely amazing time.